Over the years, I've owned several of the Munbyn thermal printer products that I've always paid with my own money because I've always believed in the products. Now, in this particular instance, Munbyn did reach out to me and asked if I'd be interested in reviewing this one for them based on other reviews I'd done for them in the past. So of course I went ahead and said yes, and I had them send this out to me. Now this is model number FM226, and it comes in this little box right here. Now I want to go ahead and go over the contents of this thing real quick, and then I want to show you how easy this printer is to use and set up. Now this particular model kind of caters to being a portable unit, which all of the Munbyn printers are pretty small in footprint anyways, but this one kind of takes the cake. It's a super portable and super lightweight item that you can carry with you if you're out and about, especially if you're a small business, and particularly if you're in like the crafting world. This thing's gonna be absolutely perfect for you. Now when you get this thing out of the box, you're gonna get your little printer like you see here. You get your little USB cable to charge it with, and then your little manual, as well as a quick start guide as well. You also get inside the little printer, you get a little roll of labels, and you basically open this thing up by just pushing down on this little button right here. That slides it open, and then you can see inside there's your labels there, and this is the little roll that it comes with. Now there are a few little advantages and disadvantages to this little printer. I want to make sure I explain as well to make sure you get the right model and get the one that's going to work for you the best. Now I do have my other printer here as well that I brought out, and this is one that I typically leave in there on the dresser that I print all of my shipping labels with, and if I'm doing any kind of bulk printing, this is kind of my go-to printer. And you can see it's not huge in size, but you can see the difference in size between the two. So which one would you rather carry with you, especially if you don't need to be able to print like 4x6 labels? And in all honesty, even though it's labeled as a 2-inch printer, you can actually go up to 2 1/4 inches in some cases. So take a look at the listing on this particular unit to make sure you pick up a compatible label before you go make any purchases there. Now something else to keep in mind, and this is kind of one of those pro or con type things, is something like this. The labels sit on the back. You usually have this thing sitting on a stand, and you feed the labels in from the back and it come out the front. So you don't have to worry about the size of the label. You can buy your labels in bulk. However, with this little dude right here, because that compartment's so small on the inside, you are limited to up to like 200 labels per roll. Now that's not a deal breaker if you do want to buy them in bulk. You simply have a roll like this that might be a little bit bigger in size. You can technically break this roll down and make a smaller roll out of this. And that way you can still get the savings of buying the rolls in bulk. Because if you look at the price per label on the smaller rolls and the bigger rolls, there is going to be a little bit of a cost savings when you go with the bigger roll. So you can kind of take a look at that and see if it's worth it to you to break down your rolls yourself or just buy those prepackaged ready to go rolls. This roll right here is too big to fit in this printer. Now I want to take a second to go ahead and show you how this little guy sets up. So basically on the front here, you just got a little power button. You're going to hold that little button down like so. It's going to beep at you, and then from there it'll basically go into Bluetooth mode, and you'll be able to take whatever device it is you want to be able to pair it to and do that now. Now I've already got this paired to my iPad. Now once you've downloaded the Munbyn print app, you'll be able to go into that app. It's going to ask you to sign in with an email, password, and you'll be able to go in and start printing labels. Let me go ahead and get my iPad pulled up on the screen for you here real quick. So as you can see, you're going to come to your home screen here, and then basically you've got several different options. You could choose from a template, but for sake of example, just to kind of show you how this little printer works, I'm going to go into the templates, and then you'll see here at the top, you've got this little drop down box, and you can pick which label size it is you're wanting to run. So if in this case, I've got the 2 by 1.18 inch labels that it comes with. I wanted to show you what that thing looks like when it prints. So the first thing I want to go ahead and do, I'm going to go to template. Like I mentioned, I'm going to go back to that size that I told you I had. This is going to show you some of the pre-made templates that you're able to print from this little printer. And we're just going to go ahead and select one of these here. We'll do this one right here. As soon as I hit use, and it's going to bring up this screen here, you'll be able to hit print and print. And then just like that, it printed my little label for me. And you can see what that looks like there. And I printed a couple other designs here as well, just to kind of give you an idea of what's capable with this thing. Now you can design your own labels within the Munbyn app as well, and it does a pretty good job. Now for me, I use Canva a lot, so I'm pretty familiar with that program. So what I found is easiest, at least in my workflow, is I will go through and design a lot of my labels in Canva in black and white, and then I'll just save those, import them over to the Munbyn app, print them off the printer that way. But this thing's been extremely handy for me because I run 2 different businesses. I've got an Etsy store, and I also have a farm. My farm goes to farmers markets every weekend during the summertime. And during that time, I have to print various labels, not only with just my company logo on it to be able to put on my products, but also because I sell eggs, I have little expiration labels with all my information on those labels that I can print and put on each egg carton while I'm there. So instead of taking this little bit slightly bigger unit with me, and not to mention, this one requires power, does not have an internal battery, and this little guy does, I could charge this thing up and be at the market all day, and I don't have any problems there. with this thing running on a full charge. Now, when it comes to the battery in this little guy, it's got a 2000 milliamp hour battery that it can run off of. It's just going to give you somewhere around 7 to 8 hours of charge time on one use before you have to charge it back up again. And then from completely dead, it's going to be somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours to get this thing charged back up, just depending on how dead you let it go during the day. That'll get you through most of your markets or whatever event you're taking this thing to. You shouldn't have to worry about plugging it in. In the event that you do need to plug it in, you can just take your little cord here with you, and if they got access to power, or you could take like a little power bank with you, and that'll more than get you through your event for the day. There's different resolutions on these little printers as well. For instance, my little printer, like I just showed you, this has got a 300 DPI rating, which is going to be just a little bit better resolution than what this little guy here is capable of. The rating on this one's 203 DPI, but even at that, the little labels you can see, I mean, they're good and clear labels. Now, you're not going to be getting like super high quality image. We're just printing thermal labels. A lot of times these things are probably going to get thrown in the trash anyways after you put them on the package and they get them home, take it out of whatever packaging it is. Super handy little unit. I think this is going to be an awesome addition to take to the markets with me this year, and then give me the ability to be able to print these labels on the fly while I'm at the market, just in case I forgot to print them for that weekend, or if I just didn't print enough. And you can kind of custom make these things depending on what your scenario is. Hopefully that's somewhat helpful for you and making a decision as to whether this little unit might be right for you guys or not. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. We'll catch you guys on the next one.